No, the title of this video is not clickbait. I don't do clickbait. That is correct. I canceled my pre-order for Fallout 76. Congratulations, Bethesda. You have officially made the first game ever that I have ever canceled a pre-order for. Thank you. Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video. I know some of you are probably wondering, okay, somebody else canceled the pre-order. With all the reviews, with all the online reviews and videos that people have been making about Fallout 76, some of you are probably thinking I'm just another one of them who wants to complain about the game. I'm not going to be complaining about Fallout 76 in the same way as other people have been because, at least I don't think so, because I haven't played the game. No, I canceled my pre-order before I ever played the game. And I wanted to give my own personal, as a Fallout fan, as a big Fallout fan, I wanted to give my own personal thoughts about Fallout, about the Fallout franchise, and my thoughts on Fallout 76. There are two main reasons why that I canceled my pre-order for Fallout 76, and why right now I have no intentions of playing Fallout 76. Number one, no offline single player, multiplayer only. And number two, no NPCs. I'm not big into multiplayer games. I've got 6 games. That's it. 6 games in total that I play multiplayer on. 4 of them more so than others. I have Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 2, and I have Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. I also have Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Rivals. However, on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, there's very seldom anybody playing that anymore, and there still are people that play Rivals. So, for me, it's mostly single player that I play Hot Pursuit, but I'm not really big into the multiplayer games. The only reason I play Black Ops and Black Ops 2, emblem editor! I have an MLP emblem! That's the only reason I play it. Modern Warfare 2 and 3, I also play them for nostalgia because a cousin and I used to play them years ago. I play those because of nostalgia. I have no intentions of getting Black Ops 3 or Black Ops Black Ops 4 or Modern Warfare 4, whatever. I don't have any intentions of getting those games. I'm just not big into multiplayer titles. And for me, Personally, for me, Fallout should not be a multiplayer game. What made Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas special for me whenever I played it is that isolation. There is nobody else playing. It's just you in this world. And roaming around, seeing nobody around, and the NPCs are just positioned in just the specific locations. You might encounter some raiders or slavers or something from time to time, or the occasional rad scorpion, bloatfly, or Cazador, or of course Deathclaw. But still, you don't really see any NPCs outside of, out on the main roads or outside of where they are supposed to be located. And that isolation helps to further pound into your head, at least for me anyway. It helps with the immersion. It helps with the immersion on my part because whenever I'm wandering through the wasteland and there are no NPCs around me, and there are certainly no characters around me, it does feel desolate. It feels isolated. You feel lonely because there is nobody there with you. But that loneliness helps with the immersion because of the world and the setting that you're in. You look around and you see the blown out cars, you see the decaying, decrepit buildings that are crumbling, and you see the destruction that humanity brought upon itself. And you know that a good portion of humanity was just wiped out. You roam around, you walk into a house, and you see skeletons of people laying about, poor souls that never that might have never saw the apocalypse coming, or some that did, but they thought they could wait it out, but they met their end. And walking around, and the music also, I mean, the soundtrack for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, I absolutely love. And you're walking around and you hear that beautiful, haunting music play, it helps to add to that immersion and to that depth of what you're doing. You feel that loneliness, you feel that isolation, and you look at the skeletons and you think about those people, you think about the lives that they once lived, what happened on the day of the Great War, what happened on that day. And it helps to immerse you into that world because there are no other players. All you hear is just the music, the thud of your footsteps, and just walking around exploring. And you go to a town, you go to a city, and you see NPCs walking around, and you feel good. You feel like, yay, there's some life here. And of course, the NPCs gives you quests. I mean, look at Skyrim as well. And Skyrim is just such a beautiful world to explore. I mean, even though there are NPCs located in specific areas, but again, Skyrim's world is just beautiful to explore. And the worlds of Skyrim and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, they don't need any other players. And I've had my experiences with online players. There are some annoying things that you will encounter whenever you get into a lobby with other players. And none of that needs to be part of what Fallout is. I don't want to get into a server on Fallout 76. If I got Fallout 76, I would just want to explore the world. I would not want to have any PvP encounter. I don't want to encounter other players. I want to just explore the world, take my time, and play the game on my own, little by little. I want to just explore the world. I don't want to have a situation arise where I'm trying to explore and suddenly I see a couple of other players laughing as they're trying to jump or trying to climb up something, maybe trying to glitch something, maybe glitch outside the map or something. It would break the immersion. I don't want that. I also don't want to play and be playing and hear other people talking about different topics, TV shows, things political, or talking smack to each other. That's not Fallout. That's not the Fallout universe. That's not what Fallout should be. And I don't want to get into a lobby or a server and be playing and hear people with microphones smack talking, insulting each other, talking about each other's moms, or hearing little kids crying in the background, or hearing somebody who's not even talking, but they have their mic near a speaker playing rap music for everybody to hear, or hearing people eating in the background. That is not what Fallout is. That is not what Fallout should resort to being. That kind of stuff is reserved, should be only in Call of Duty servers, not Fallout. All of that breaks all of the immersion for Fallout, for what it is. It's just a big world with multiple people in it, and I know people will not play this game. I remember whenever Tom Clancy's The Division hadn't released yet, and there's still that trailer online where you have a few people playing cooperatively online, and I know for a fact only a small circle of friends would have played like that. Otherwise, getting online, it's not like that. You're not going to have people working cooperatively, getting into the feeling of the game, pretending or role-playing like they're in that role. No. You go into a lobby, you have people smack-talking each other, you have people trying to insult one another. You have guys trying to flirt with chicks. You have little kids, screamers playing, and then you have people crunching on like Cheetos or Doritos or something over the mic, and it's like they have their microphone in their mouth trying to assault it. And then you have the people who are not talking whatsoever, but they have their mic near a speaker playing rap music for everybody to hear whenever nobody wants to hear it. And then you have little kids crying in the background because either someone is maybe they're I don't know they're that's their way of babysitting the child. They're letting the child cry in the background while they play. That is stuff that I have heard myself. I've heard all of that in Call of Duty servers, in the games, in the 4 titles that I named off. Those I've heard that in every single one. I've heard that with every single one of those. That should not be Fallout. It's shameful whenever Fallout has to resort to that, and I don't approve of it. That is not what Fallout is. Fallout is supposed to be an open single player post-apocalyptic world. You are supposed to feel that isolation. That is what helps to drive it home, is the feeling of isolation. Realistically speaking, you go outside your front door and you walk down the street. Chances are, for a good while, you're not going to see anybody out on the road. I mean, you're not going to see anybody. They're just going to be in their homes. That's natural to what Fallout is, and I know some people might argue and say, well, there were no NPCs out very much, just in the towns. That's kind of realistic. People aren't going to be typically, I mean, apart from the vehicles, of course, but people aren't typically going to be outside like that. They're going to be in the towns or in the homes. And so that's the way that Fallout fit. But Fallout should not have resorted. It should not be like a Call of Duty game. It should not have resorted to that. And I know that some people wanted a multiplayer Fallout game, and I understand. I mean, thinking about it, it would be fun if you could play with 1 or 2 people online and explore. But the idea itself is interesting, but the execution is what failed. And what Fallout 76 should have been. This is what I personally would have wanted Fallout 76 to have been, and this is the way I myself would have developed it, had it developed, if I could have. From the get-go, it would have been single-player focused. It would have been single-player focused, and there would have been NPCs in the world. However, it would be a multiplayer option. Of course, there would be a multiplayer option, and the multiplayer option would have multiple options subsiding that. Whenever you start the game, this is one way that I personally would have had it developed. Whenever you start the game, multiplayer is locked to you, but only until after you create your player character in the main game. Once you create your player character, that is your profile. Then you have access to multiplayer, and you load your character profile in multiplayer. Whenever you go to multiplayer, it's a completely different save system. It doesn't save over your regular game. Whenever you go to multiplayer, the majority of the world is already open to you. The majority of the world is already open to you. Locations are already highlighted on your map, and so there's no new exploring that. Your multiplayer, you can play, at this point, you can choose to join a server or host a server. And if you choose to join a server, you can choose how many people you want to join you in that server. So if you just want 1 person, you select that from the settings, from the server settings. You select 1 person, and then you can invite that 1 person or have them join you. And then you can both be in that server together. Or if you want a few other people. And by doing this, there is nobody else in the world but you and the people that you allow to play the game. If, however, you choose to join a server, then you can go to that server, and however many people are there in that server, you just go to that server and just explore the wasteland if you want to. But there are, of course, other people playing. And that's personally the way that I think it should have been, was single player and multiplayer were both two separate things, but basically, and offline play. If you want to play Fallout 76 offline, you should have been able to. You can play it offline with no internet whatsoever if you want to, and just enjoy the entirety of the game offline. In multiplayer, there would be no NPCs. The main NPCs would be removed from the game, and there would be some of the quests, not all of them, but some of the quests from the game would be could be placed, could be given to you by a terminal, like the game is developed now. But not every single quest would be. Specific quests would be specific to NPCs in the single player game, but they're not in the multiplayer. And multiplayer itself would not be. You would have a different leveling system. Meaning, in single player, your character is going to level up in single player differently than they would in multiplayer. That way, people is not going to take advantage of the multiplayer, do the same quest all over again just to try to level grind, and then go back to single player and dominate. No, that would not be designed that way. At least that's how I myself would have had it done. And then you could possibly favorite a server. If you like the server, you could favorite that server and then go back and find that server in a favorite servers list and try to join that server later. And that's what I think should have happened. I think that that's the way the game should have been developed right from the get-go. NPCs been in it, and you could have played the game single player offline if you wanted to, instead of having no NPCs and being forced into multiplayer. And I know that the game, for the most part, and the thing is, I know that the game, for the most part, some people have said that in the world as big as it is, that they haven't encountered very many other players. Another thing that I don't like about Fallout is I don't like the idea of trying to get to an area, explore an area that I haven't found. I get to that area, and suddenly I run into another player who just kills me. Just because. I don't mind getting killed by the natural creatures of the wasteland, by the NPCs and other creatures, but to get killed by another character just because, no. Again, that happens only in matches in Call of Duty, and that's what it should be reserved for. It should not happen in a Fallout title. And then the idea of trying to go back to that area to explore, again, not wanting to confront this person, but go there only to have them camping, expecting me to come back and kill me again. Again, that frustration, camping and such, that should only happen in Call of Duty. That should not be a Fallout game. Fallout should not induce rage against other players. It should, if you rage, it should be against a Deathclaw or a Cazador. It should not be at other players who keep killing you because you just want to explore an area. Again, that's taking away the immersion and the fun out of Fallout, and it's turning it into a regular multiplayer lobby, and Fallout shouldn't be that. And another thing that I know for a fact, and big shocker, video game companies, not every single person has internet. Yeah, I know, big shocker, right? But it's the freaking truth. There's a guy that I know right now. He doesn't have internet. He doesn't have internet in his area, and he has no computer. And so he can't play multiplayer. Any multiplayer game, he doesn't even have a computer or a phone. He has access to no internet because they have not run any internet down through his area. And so what is he supposed to do, huh? What is your solution? Pack up your stuff and move to it? If you're a dedicated gamer, you'll pack up your stuff and move to an area that has internet. Very few people would want to pack up their stuff, sell their home, and have to go in debt hundreds of thousands, over $100,000 for a new home, and have to pay the payments every single month just to get to play a game online. If anybody would do that, you're an idiot, okay? You're not a dedicated gamer, you're addicted. And and in a bad way. If you're willing to throw away hundreds of dollars every single month just to get to play a game just because you had to move, I don't know of anybody that would be that stupid. And then for me, I can't play online all the time. I can't tell you how many times I can be online and suddenly on my PS3 I'll get a message that says suddenly I'll get kicked out. I mean, I won't even be, sometimes I might be playing Call of Duty, or sometimes I might be playing Black Ops 1 or 2 or Modern Warfare 2 or 3, but I don't even have to be playing that. Sometimes I'll just be like, I have my system set to automatically sign me in, and the reason I did that was because it was getting complicated. It would not, whenever I wanted it to log in, it would take forever to log in, and it would keep giving me the error codes. And in order to stop the majority of that, I had to set it to sign me in all the time. And so just yesterday, I played Skyrim, and then tonight I played Fallout 3, both offline games. And I can be playing, and sometimes I'll get a message that says, you have been signed out of PSN. That happens sometimes whenever I'm playing online. I'll get kicked out of a server because my internet decides it's because I get signed out of PlayStation Network. And so that would be really annoying, playing on a multiplayer game like that and trying to explore, and suddenly, boom, you get kicked and you can't play the game. Or your internet is out. I've had that happen before. My internet would suddenly go out for a few hours, and what? I can't enjoy Fallout 76 because it's multiplayer based? Again, there's a lot of things about it that I don't like, and that's why that I canceled my pre-order for Fallout 76. If at some point Bethesda were to decide, okay, we're going to include a DLC that has NPCs and has single player offline, I'll get the DLC just so I can play the game offline and have NPCs. I mean, the only good thing about Fallout 76 that I can say that I do like is the world and the setting. I like the concept of it being in West Virginia, and I love Fallout, so I do love the post-apocalyptic look of the way, I mean, the post-apocalyptic setting and the way that the world looks. But that is the only appealing thing about it to me. That is the only thing. And that is not enough of a quality for me to indulge in the game and cough up the cash to do it. I'm not going, I mean, as much as I love Fallout, I'm not going to get suckered in and hooked in to playing something just because of that world and having the annoyance of the forced combat style and gameplay mechanic that is the single player, I mean, that is the multiplayer and the whole PvP thing. I don't like that concept. And so I canceled my pre-order for Fallout 76, and I've never canceled out of the several games that I have pre-ordered in my life. I have never canceled a pre-order before. This is the first time that I've ever canceled a pre-order. And congratulations, Todd Howard. You have yourself to thank for that. And I don't like the direction that Fallout 76 has went. I know that the reception for Fallout 4 was mixed, as some people hated it, but at least the game is still available to play offline, and there are still NPCs in it. So, if you want to make a bad game look good, make an even worse one. That's what Fallout 76 is. But it's just strange, honestly, and like playing Skyrim, playing Fallout 3, and playing Fallout New Vegas, it's strange playing playing these games by Bethesda, and then seeing what Fallout 76 is. It's strange. It's unorthodox to see something like Fallout 76 coming out of the creativity that once was Bethesda. But to be honest, it's kind of similar with how Bungie did Halo, and then look at Destiny. Again, I've never played Destiny. I'm just following up with with the reviews and everything that people have said about it. So you have amazingness that is Halo, and then that is Destiny, and now you have the amazingness that is Skyrim and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and then you got what? That is Fallout 76. So, yeah, and I'm still kind of shocked that I canceled my pre-order, but I didn't want to get Fallout 76. I didn't want to pay for a game that I'm not really going to enjoy. That's $60 or $50 that for something else that I could use. And heck, I could build a model kit. I could get a model kit for that price. And I don't agree with what Fallout 76 has become, what it looks like, what it is, and I have no intentions of getting it, um, unless at some point down the line Bethesda were to add NPCs and a single player offline play to it. Then I'm there, but unless that were to happen, I'm passing completely on Fallout 76. I'll just stick with the old Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas for my. I'll just stick with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas for my Fallout experience, and then at least Fallout 4 can be played single player offline. So whenever I do get a PS4, I could still enjoy that. But yeah, that is my personal thoughts about Fallout 76. I Fallout, it has always been single player. That single player play has been what helped to immerse you into that world. You would get a companion to tag along with you, but you're still pretty much by yourself. And it's that isolation and that loneliness that you feel that helps to add to the immersion and the feeling of what is going on around you. You're in a post-apocalyptic world. There's not very many. It's bleak. It's grim. It's dark, and it's you have signs all around you of the remnants of our lost civilization. You have the remnants, the evidence around you of what humanity brought upon itself, the greed and corruption that it was. And here you are, a victim of your ancestors' past. That is what Fallout is. And you're looking around seeing that destruction. But yet you get to little towns and cities and you see people surviving, and it gives you a glimmer of hope that maybe things are looking up. And it's one of those, it's hauntingly beautiful and beautifully haunting. And that is what Fallout is. Roaming around in the desolate wasteland and being by yourself and just seeing, I mean, that I love personally, I love that loneliness and the isolation that you feel whenever you explore. I love it because it helps to immerse you into that world. You're hearing the music play, and you can pretend it's your Pip-Boy playing that music, and it's just quiet. It's eerie and it's haunting and it's beautiful at the same time. And that's what Fallout is. That's what Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are for me. And I mean, the only thing I have to be concerned about is what is over the next over the next hill. Is it a Cazador? Is it a I mean, even though I've completely explored both games, still it's fun to look around, and I do that a lot. It's fun to just roam around and see all the details that they put into the world and explore around and see, is there anything that I missed? What tells a story? Because there's so many things that you can see and it tells a story. There's a collapsed bridge with some cars falling down. It makes me think, what happened on that day, the panic that those people felt. They were maybe trying to rush to a vault, and suddenly, boom, like the blast happened and the bridge just collapsed, or there was an EMP blast during the blast and the vehicles just died. And so they they got out of the cars and tried to run. Or the blast collapsed the bridge and the vehicles fell and the people died inside the vehicles. Everything tells a story, and it's fun to piece that together in your mind, trying to imagine what happened in the past 200 years before. And again, that loneliness and immersion. I mean, even though the NPCs, even though they may have, you know, the generic dialogue, and once you exalt the dialogue options, they say the same things. Still, it's fun, and the NPCs give life to the game because they're not talking about TV shows or things political or crunching on some sort of snack or playing music. they're designed in the game to do what they're supposed to do. And playing online with people would break that immersion. And I don't want that. I want to be immersed. I want to fully indulge myself and get involved with the game that I'm playing. And I don't want other players to break that. And Fallout should not be that. Fallout has not been that. Fallout has not needed that all these years. The Fallout games haven't had that before. Why do they need it now? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And so I canceled my pre-order, and I have no intentions of getting Fallout 76. I'll just stick with the old Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. But that is my personal thoughts and personal insight about Fallout 76 and about the Fallout franchise. So that is my own personal thoughts. And if you are playing Fallout 76 and you enjoy it, that's cool. That's fine. I'm not dissing on anyone who does enjoy it, but please understand that there are people who don't want to play online, and that we just want to enjoy a single player offline experience. And that is what I wanted for Fallout 76, but that's not what we're going to get. So please, I mean, again, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not dissing on anyone who does enjoy the game. I'm not dissing on anyone who loves multiplayer games. But please understand, I mean, I respect that's how you play. I totally respect that. But please understand that not everybody feels the same way that you do. And that is my own personal thoughts about Fallout. And so, hope you guys enjoyed. And share. Please feel free to give your own personal insight in the comments below. So thanks again for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.